Welcome to the Fasting Podcast, Wow, Wellness and Optimal Weight. I'm your host, Julie Phillips, certified natural health professional for 2 decades after a life-threatening scare, bringing you episode 125, the warrior diet form of intermittent fasting. First, let's talk about the origin of the warrior diet. Eating most of one's daily food in a 4-hour window, typically at night, but able to consume more nutrition during the fasting 20-hour window. So this is very different than the 1 meal a day because it isn't just 1 hour of eating, it's 4, and it isn't fasting purely for 20 hours. It's actually being able to eat healthy foods to get additional nutrition during what is normally called the fasting state. Serving sizes for this program are not specific, and there's no calorie counting required, so it's a very flexible type system. Supplementation is encouraged, such as a multivitamin, probiotics, aminos, and exercise strength and speed training is important with good hydration throughout the day. Created in 2001 and 2002, the warrior diet is defined in a book by Ori Hofmekler, who's a former member of the Israeli Special Forces who transitioned into fitness and nutrition, and it's inspired by the early cultures of nomads, hunter-gatherers, Greeks, Romans. The subtitle of the warrior diet is Switch on Your Biological Powerhouse for High Energy, Explosive Strength, and a Leaner, Harder Body. The forwards in the book are actually people you will probably recognize. The Fit for Life author Harvey Diamond, and the author Dr. Udo Erasmus of Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill. The warrior diet's depicted as a lifestyle approach rather than as a fad diet, and it's based on what is referred to as survival science and the author's experience and observations. Let's talk now about the 4 hours of clean, healthy eating. The 4-hour eating window can be a large meal of roughly 85 to 90% of daily food, or it can be multiple meals, which is what I personally would prefer, where you can help the blood sugar and give a little gap between the eating. Encouraging enough protein to sustain or help build muscle, healthy fats, nutrients-dense foods that include veggies, very flexible options, and again, we hope they're organic, that avoid processed foods, including processed meats, refined carbs, artificial sweeteners. These are things to avoid, added sugar, sugary drinks, fried foods. So what's actually good candidates for what to eat during the 4-hour window? Protein foods like eggs, fish, chicken, turkey, beef, cooked vegetables, cauliflower, zucchini, Brussels sprouts, starches like legumes, sweet potatoes, grains like healthy oats, quinoa, rice, barley, buckwheat, healthy organic dairy products like milk, cheese, yogurt, cottage cheese. And keep in mind that a lot of people have allergies to dairy. Healthy fats such as nuts, seeds, and healthy oils like olive oil. The book actually promotes healthy foods and food combinations for fat loss. Now let's talk about the 20 hours of mostly fasting, where during the other 20 hours, roughly maybe 10 to 15% of the daily food, and again we hope they're organic choices on your part, are small amounts as needed. What's on the list? Raw fruits like apples, berries, grapes, peaches, pears, etc. Raw vegetables, broccoli, cucumber, celery, bell peppers, etc. Broth, such as veggie, chicken, beef, and bone broth. Vegetable juice, celery, spinach, cabbage, beets. Dairy products like we mentioned earlier. Eggs like hard-boiled and poached eggs, and we did an episode on eggs, so make great choices there with the organic pasture-raised chickens. Liquids, hopefully pure water, unsweet tea, and if you need it, black coffee. Healthy choices healthy fats, and some like to keep their 20 hours where they're eating extra foods mostly to fat rather than proteins and carbs, so that the fats increase the fat burning and avoid storing carbs in our glycogen stores, the muscles and liver, because when we store carbs in our muscles and liver, that can slow down weight loss. So some people call that a fat fast. But again, the program gives you all these different choices that we've already named, which includes the fruits, veggies, etc. Working and activity are an important part of this period of time, and the book actually contains drills that you may consider. Remember, we said that the activity for strength and speed are an important part of the program. Now, there's a suggested 3-week phase, and you can get the notes from this. I'm not going to read every bit of detail off these notes. You can get them at the website we'll give you at the end. But phase 1 is the first week, and that's called the detox. And it's outlined what you do during that period. Phase 2, which is the second week, is called high fat. The third week is called concluding fat loss, and it has things like 1 to 2 days of high carbs, then 1 to 2 days of high protein and low carbs, then 1 to 2 days of high carbs again, and 1 to 2 days of high protein and low carbs again. And it specifies what to do on the high carb days and the high protein, low carb days. And you may repeat all 3 phases if you want to continue, and you do phase 1, 2, and 3 if you want to repeat those again. But some people prefer to just move into the flexible 20 hours of the mostly fasting and the 4 hours of healthy eating guidelines that fit their desired schedule and lifestyle. Here's some aspects to consider. You really may want to review episode 80, which is called Beware OMAD, 1 meal a day. There were many concerns that were raised for that approach based on clinical studies and opinions of experts. This approach of the warrior diet may eliminate or lessen most of those. This approach of the warrior diet allows for eating a meal with family at night or earlier if that's when they eat it, and it can offer ability to eat out at lunch with others because foods are allowed during the 20 hours. This approach, done with organic foods and pure water, may provide the variety and amount of nutrition needed in a single day without excessive cravings. However, if poor choices are made, you actually can result in weight gain. So it usually comes down to choices, but this is an approach that may be better for blood sugar challenge people because during the 4-hour eating window, you're eating foods that could help there and maybe 2 meals rather than 1 meal. And the 20-hour window, you still are being able to consume foods that may help with blood sugar rather than trying to do a hardcore fast or the 1 meal a day. So blood sugar people may be advantaged with this extra ability to eat during the window. This approach may well be used for a period of time to improve one's health, weight, and strength by good candidates. Now, these are people that are not pregnant, nursing, not children or elderly seniors, people without the history of eating disorders, non-competitive athletes, and those without underlying conditions like heart disease or cancer. Many may have a hard time doing this approach long-term, but may choose to do it short-term to achieve some goals. If this approach appeals to you and you try it for 30, 60, or 90 days, please share your results and feedback with me at julie@jpwowprograms.com. Check out our website, www.jpwowprograms.com. Please refer others to the podcast and YouTube and give us a good iTunes review if that's how you're viewing the podcast. Stay positive, focused, and determined because where the mind goes, energy flows.